Good morning, children.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
We were discussing about the different cell organelles found in eukaryotic organisms. A few more are there to be completed. By today, we will complete this chapter. And this chapter is also included as per the revised portions. This chapter is also included for your exam. I think only this in Animal Kingdom, the complete chapter is there. So remaining chapters, the other two chapters, you have only selected topics as per the CBSE syllabus. So you can easily score marks, learn it thoroughly, start your revisions early. Don't wait for the previous day to open your textbook. Okay, so let's begin. Next structure that we need to learn is centrosome. Centrosome and centrioles. Already I had mentioned about centrosome and centrioles. Can anybody recollect and tell me what is the function of centrioles? They perform a very important function. Alentina, during which stage?
Cell division.
Cell division. So they produce spindle fibers at the time of cell division, and it is inside centrosome that these centrioles are present. Centrioles are present inside the centrosome. Here you can see a picture of centrosome, and within the centrosome a pair of centrioles are there, and as you are seeing in the picture, these are arranged perpendicular to one another. So one is in this way, the other one is arranged like this. So they are perpendicularly arranged. So two centrioles are there, and these two are arranged perpendicularly within the centrosome. So centrosome is the organelle in which centrioles are present. They play an important role in cell division. They are surrounded by these two centrioles. They are surrounded by an amorphous pericentriolar materials. So here you can see it is not having a definite shape. Some amorphous pericentriolar materials are surrounding these two centrioles. Both of them are lying perpendicular to each other, and they have got a cartwheel-like organization. So here if you check this part, I have given an enlarged view. This portion is enlarged and shown over here. If you examine closely, you can see that it resembles the wheel of a cart. So bullock cart or different carts you might have seen at least in pictures. So it is having the picture of it is having the resemblance with a cartwheel. Centrioles are having a cartwheel-like organization. A centriole is made up of 9 evenly spaced. How many? 9. 9 evenly spaced triplets of peripheral. We already learned about doublet. So when these are found in pairs, when microtubules are found in pairs, you call it as doublet. And here these are triplets. And these triplets are made up of fibers, small fibers of fibrils of tubular protein. So here you can see 9 of them, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So here an enlarged view you can find each one is having 3 microtubules. That is why you call it as a triplet. So 9 such triplets you can find, and together it is having the appearance of a cartwheel. And what are these microtubules made of? It's made of a protein, tubulin protein. Each of the peripheral fibrils. So these fibrils are arranged in the periphery, and they are each set is 3 in number. So you call it as a triplet. Doublet means 2, triplet 3. So once again I will repeat the points. Once again I am going to repeat. Starting from the first point, centrosome is the organelle, and inside which you can see centrioles, and these are surrounded by amorphous, some pericentriolar materials. As you can see, it's not having a definite shape. Some pericentriolar materials, which is not having a proper shape, surrounds it. And these centrioles, two centrioles are present in each centrosome, and these are arranged perpendicular to each other. You can see their arrangement, perpendicular arrangement. Then, if you see its appearance, it looks like a cartwheel. Centrioles have a cartwheel-like appearance. And what gives it this cartwheel appearance? They are made up of microtubules. How many microtubules? 9 triplets. So there are 9 triplets. So each set is having 3 such tubules. So 3 fibrils are present, and these are made up of tubulin protein. And the adjacent triplets. So it's that here you can see 9 triplets, and all these are interconnected. So the triplets which are lying close to each other, they are interconnected. The adjacent triplets are linked. So when we learned about the structure of cilia and flagella, you had learned about bridges, lingers, radial spokes, etc. to interconnect them. So here also we have some structures by means of which these are interconnected. Any doubt? Any doubt? Any doubt, children?
No, ma'am.
No. So I can proceed to the next one. Nimida, any doubt?
Ma'am.
Okay. Now a few more parts. The proteinaceous central part. The proteinaceous central part, you call it is hub. So this part, central, just a minute. So this is the central hub. The proteinaceous central part of the proximal region. On the proximal side, proximal and distal side. So proximal side, distal side. So on the proximal side, you can see a proteinaceous central part, and that central part you call as hub. Then there are spokes which will connect the hub with the tubules of the peripheral triplets. I told you earlier, there are some structures which interconnect all these different structures. So I told you about the lingers. So there some linking structures are there which are interconnecting these triplets. So each triplet is connected with the adjacent one by means of certain structures. So apart from that, the central hub is also linked. See, you can see these structures. Central hub is also linked with these triplets by means of structures known as spokes. So hub and spokes. What is hub? The proteinaceous central region found in the proximal region of the centriole. Yes.
What is proximal region?
Proximal and distal. The one end is known as proximal and distal is which is lying away. Okay, one end is proximal. Like in when we learned about the structure of a nephron. In a kidney, we learn a proximal tubule, distal tubule. The part which is lying closer, that is proximal, and which is away from that, you call it is distal. Distal and proximal. And spokes are the structures which interconnect or which connect the hub with the tubules of the peripheral triplets. Centriole forms the basal body of cilia and flagella. So when we learned about cilia and flagella, I told you that they arises from whether it is cilia or flagella, both of them are arising from a basal body. So these centriole acts as the basal body from where cilia and flagella are formed. And the other function, so these are the functions of centriole. So one is that they will form the basal body of both cilia and flagella. And apart from that, the other function which I already mentioned, these are the structures from where spindle fibers are produced. What are spindle fibers or what is its function? They will help the chromosomes to get aligned at the time of cell division. So you will be learning more about cell division, different stages and all in the next chapter. So these spindle fibers which will help in aligning the chromosomes are produced from the centriole actually. They form the spindle fibers which form the spindle apparatus during cell division in animal cells. So in plant cells, I told you, instead of these, certain other centrosomes are not found, but centrosomes are not found in them. Instead, they have other structures from where spindle fibers are produced. But in animal cells, centrosomes are present, and each centrosome will consist of 2 centrioles, and these centrioles will form the structures, the basal bodies from where cilia and flagella are produced, and they also help in producing spindle fibers which form the spindle apparatus, help in the alignment of chromosomes at the time of cell division. You know, usually inside the nucleus, chromatin material will be a thread-like network, or genetic material will be in the form of a thread-like structure. But when the cell is about to divide, they will become short and thick and change into chromosomes. So this you had been learning from class 8. So in the next chapter, cell cycle, you will learn more about all these cell divisions. For the time being, you just understand that centrioles will produce, or they will help in producing spindle fibers which play an important role in cell division. Okay. Children, any doubt? Okay. So next is the last topic, that is about nucleus. So before I proceed, we can have a recap of what we learned now. Okay, quickly, who is going to start? About centrosome and centrioles. Devi Krishna?
Yes, ma'am.
Start. What did we learn?
Is an organelle that contains cylindrical structures called centrioles.
Why your connectivity is not good?
No, ma'am, my Wi-Fi isn't working, so I'm using mobile data.
Okay. Ardra? Ardra, are you there? Abhinav? Next point. Meherin? Am I wasting my time, children? Video is not on, but your audio is working, no? Meherin? Yes. Yes? Zahan? Yes, Meherin. Continue. Your voice is breaking, Meherin. Zahan? Zahan? Zahan, are you there? Your friend will message you now and he'll come from somewhere else. No? Who is going to send a message? Teacher is calling out your name. Come soon. Zahan, are you there? You can leave a message now if you're there. Neither message nor video or audio. So what is the way of attending class? Sorry, what is the use of attending the class? Aditya Dev?
Yes, ma'am. They are surrounded by amorphous.
Amorphous pericentriolar materials. Okay. Hasif? Merin, I will ask you, don't worry. Next question I'll ask you. Okay. Hasif? Alan Joshi?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll give preference to the VIPs always. No, those whose videos are off, I'll ask only them now. Yes, Alan?
Both centrosomes lie perpendicular to each other.
Okay, they lie perpendicular to each other. What is the next point, Merin?
They are surrounded by an
That he said, that point he said. Next, tell about its appearance. It looks like a
It looks like a cartwheel.
cartwheel, or it has got a cartwheel like organization. What makes up this cartwheel? Malavika Vibin, what constitutes this cartwheel? It's made up of?
Sure.
It's made up of?
Ma'am, tubulin proteins.
It is made up of tubulin protein, or it is made up of certain other structures. Why I said those numbers? Okay. Malavika, you got time now? Yes.
The 9 evenly spread.
9 evenly spaced. Evenly spaced means in between them equal space is present. 9 equally spaced
Triplets of
triplets.
peripheral
Hmm.
fibrils
9
of
equally spaced triplets. And what are these triplets made of?
tubulin.
Tubulin protein. Okay, Shabari, next point.
They have proteinaceous censure called the hub.
They are?
They have proteinaceous censure called the
They have got a proteinaceous central part. Then, and where is this proteinaceous central part? In the which region? Shabari? Where is the hub present? In which part?
center.
Okay, central part. On which region? I mentioned 2 regions, no?
Approximate.
The part which is closer,
Approximate.
proximal region. Proximal region and distal. Distal, the part away. So proximal is lying close to the point of attachment. So that is proximal. So on the proximal side, you can see hub. And then, how are these interconnected? What will connect the central hub with the 9 peripheral triplets? Malavika Prabil?
Radial spokes.
Radial spokes are present which will connect these triplets with that of the central hub. So now we will learn about nucleus. So can you tell me some points about nucleus? What all we had learned in lower classes? Name of the membrane. Inside what can you find? Speciality of the membrane. Any points? What do you remember? 9th standard textbook, even now you haven't read, no children? How many of you read 9th standard's textbook? Not even one. Very good. Very obedient children. Yes. Anybody can say anything you had been learning from 8th standard about cell, nucleus. In 8th standard textbook also it is mentioned about the structure of nucleus. What do you call the membrane covering the nucleus?
Nuclear membrane.
Nuclear membrane. Is this nuclear membrane having any openings?
It is semi-permeable.
This nuclear membrane is having some pores, nuclear pores for the exchange of materials. Then, inside the nucleus, what do you find? Have you heard about nucleolus? No. Or else you tell me inside. Yes. Inside the nucleolus, what is there? Similar to cytoplasm inside the cell. Inside the nucleus, there is a matrix. There is a substance. What do you call it? Cell cytoplasm. So inside nucleus?
Nucleoplasm.
Nucleoplasm. And scattered in the nucleoplasm, we can see thread-like structures. What do you call it? Thread-like structures. Coiled thread, just like that. It will later change into chromosomes. But when it is in the form of thread, what do you call it? A few minutes back, I mentioned the name. Starting again with C. Chromatin. Chromatin fibers. You call it as chromatin fibers. It is like an entangled thread-like network, but at the time of cell division, they'll become short and thick and form what you call as chromosomes. And chromosomes are made up of 9th standard. Again, 9th standard portion. Chromosomes are made up of dash and dash. What makes up chromosome, children? The 3-letter molecule. DNA and proteins. What is the expansion for DNA? Deoxyribonucleic acid. So DNA and proteins. Then what are genes? We learned about or we discussed about chromosome and DNA. Then where are genes present? You know that genes are responsible for the inheritance of characters. But where are genes then?
Inside DNA.
Inside DNA, or else you can say it's a piece or segment of Emmeline. Correct what you said, you just correct it and say it's a segment of gene is a segment of DNA. It's a functional segment of DNA. Okay, so let's learn more about nucleus. First described by Robert Brown in 1831. The nuclear material stained by basic dyes is given the name chromatin by Fleming. So this was described first by Robert Brown, and that was in the year 1871, and later using dyes. If you need to see the parts in a cell clearly, we have to stain it. Only upon staining, so different parts of a cell will take up the stain differently and they'll get colored differently. So it is very important to use stain. So upon using acidic dye and basic dyes are there. So upon using basic dyes, he could stain the chromatin inside the nucleus, so which you call as nuclear material, and that was done by another scientist, Fleming. A cell usually has one nucleus. Already you have learned that in a cell there will be one nucleus. But when we learned about biological classification, we learned about certain cells having many nuclei also. Some cells are multinucleated. Usually only one nucleus present. Some mature cells such as RBCs of mammals. So once RBCs are formed, they will have nucleus, but later that will disappear. And the sieve tube cells of vascular plants. Hope you are remembering about sieve tube. Sieve tube is a part of what, children? It's a component of which tissue? Sieve tubes is a component of which tissue? Malavika, Prabil?
Parenchyma.
I'll give you a clue. It's a part of complex tissue. How many complex tissues you know, Malavika? Vascular tissues in plants. 2 vascular tissues in xylem and phloem. So sieve tubes is a part of phloem. Sieve tubes, companion cells. Hope you remember sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. So sieve tubes are without nucleus. That is why they have companion cells to assist them in their function. So some cells are usually one nucleus, but some are having many nuclei, and in some nucleus is absent. So that is rarely, not all cells, rarely you can find cells without nucleus. Nucleus is covered by a nuclear membrane or nuclear envelope, which is having 2 membranes. So nucleus is also covered by 2 membranes. And in between these 2 membranes, you can see a perinuclear space. Perinuclear space. So where is perinuclear space? In between the 2 membranes. So nucleus is covered by 2 membranes, and in between the space enclosed by these 2 membranes, you call it as perinuclear space. So that is 10 to 50 nanometer between them. So what is perinuclear space? The space in between the two membranes covering nucleus. So the two membranes constituting the nuclear envelope. So in between, there is a space that you call as perinuclear space. They will act as a barrier between the materials present inside the nucleus and that of the cytoplasm. So this perinuclear space in between the two membranes, they will act as a barrier separating the materials of nucleus and cytoplasm. Outer membrane of nucleus is usually continuous with the endoplasmic reticulum having ribosomes on it. In some pictures you might have seen associated with the nucleus, the endoplasmic reticulum will be there, and these endoplasmic reticulum you can see ribosomes present on it, and you call it as a rough endoplasmic reticulum. And nuclear envelope or nuclear membrane is provided with pores. It is interrupted, means in between it. It is not continuous. Here and there you can see some openings, and you call it as nuclear pores. And why these nuclear pores are essential? So that materials like RNA and proteins can be exchanged between nucleus and cytoplasm. If these pores are not there, the exchange of materials between the nucleus and cytoplasm cannot take place. So it is interrupted. It is not an uninterrupted membrane. So scattered in this membrane, small openings are there which you call as nuclear pores. And through these pores, materials like RNA and proteins will get exchanged between the nucleus and cytoplasm. Okay, clear? So what is perinuclear space? Where is it present? What is its function? And why the nuclear membrane is provided with nuclear pores? Okay? Yes, okay. Okay, Aditya?
No, ma'am.
Okay, continue. Okay. See here, I told you already, the picture you can see, I mentioned a line that the outer membrane is continuous with the endoplasmic reticulum. So in this picture it is clear. So sometimes the outer membrane can be continuous with endoplasmic reticulum and it bears ribosomes, which are the sites of protein synthesis. Nucleoplasm or nuclear matrix. Nuclear matrix is same as nucleoplasm. Cytoplasm is a matrix present within the cell or between the nucleus and cell membrane. So the matrix present within the nucleus is nucleoplasm. It consists of nucleolus. Nucleolus is a spherical body. The number of nucleolus can differ. It can be one or more, plus chromatin fibers. Okay. Next is about nucleolus. Nucleolus, these are some spherical structures. These are some spherical structures. They are not bound by any membrane and the number can be one or more. This is a site for the synthesis of rRNA. rRNA means ribosomal RNA. We already learned in ribosomes, RNA is present or ribosomal RNA is present. So this is a site for RNA synthesis. And its contents are continuous with the nucleoplasm because there is no membrane limiting it. There is no membrane to give boundary for nucleolus. So the contents are continuous with that of the nucleoplasm because if there is a membrane, it will be separated from the nucleoplasm. But it is present in the nucleoplasm without a membrane. So the contents are continuous. larger and more nucleoli. Plural is nucleoli, singular nucleolus. So the number of nucleoli can be more and the size can be bigger when in cells with active protein synthesis. So cells which are carrying out actively the synthesis of proteins, there the number and the size of the nucleolus can be different. It can be better, it can be more. Then chromatin. Chromatin, actually these are fibers made up of nucleoproteins. These are present in the interphase. Interphase you haven't learned. In cell division, interphase is the resting stage. Okay, so that you will learn later. That means in the next chapter. So in the interphase stage of the cell division, you can find chromatin fibers. These are actually nucleoprotein fibers. And these structures will form distinct chromosome. They'll become short and thick and they will form chromosomes during the time of cell division. At the time of cell division, they'll become short and thick and they form what you call as chromosomes, which take part in cell division. And these are made up of DNA, histone proteins, non-histone proteins and RNA. Chromosomes are made up of, I told you earlier, chromosomes are mainly made up of DNA and proteins. Proteins are of two types, histone proteins and non-histone proteins, and even RNA can also be present. So RNA, DNA and proteins like histone and non-histone proteins are found in them. Nucleoplasm is the matrix present inside the nucleus. It contains nucleolus and chromatin. And the number of nucleolus can differ. It can be one or more. These are the sites of ribosomal RNA synthesis. These are not having any membrane covering. So the contents will be continuous with that of the nucleoplasm. And if a cell is very active in protein synthesis, there the number and size of the nucleoli, not nucleolus. Don't get confused between nucleus and nucleolus. Nucleolus, these are, or nucleoli are spherical structures present within the nucleus and they are not having any membrane. Hence it is, the contents are continuous with that of the nucleoplasm. Then chromatin, these are loose fibers. These are thread-like structures scattered in the nucleus or inside the nucleus, and in the resting stage, when the cell is not dividing, so they'll remain like this. When the cell is about to divide, it will become short. It will get condensed, thick and short and form what you call as chromosomes. Chromosomes are made up of mainly DNA and proteins. And along with that, RNA can also be found, and proteins are of two types, histone and non-histone proteins. Okay, Lakshmi? Have you completed? Can I wind up? Okay. No. So we can have a quick recap of what we learned. More are there to learn about nucleus. So what all points we learned just now, Tushar? Any one point?
Yes, ma'am. The nuclear material stained by basic dye is given the name chromatin.
Okay. Then what is meant by nuclear envelope? Mary Angelina, what is meant by nuclear envelope? What is the other name? Unmute.
Ma'am,
How are you now? Better?
not perfectly okay, ma'am.
Okay. Nuclear envelope. Another name for nuclear envelope is nuclear membrane. Another name is nuclear membrane. Okay. So why these nuclear pores are present, Alendina, in the membrane? Why nuclear pores are present in the membrane?
For the movement of RNA and protein,
Proteins between
cytoplasm and the
nucleus. So we will continue next class. One more period we have. Okay. Thank you, children. See you next period.